Welcome back to 9th standard English class. I'm going to continue with the topic, the 3 questions. In the previous class, we had learned about the king went in search of a hermit with the 3 questions. And he also helped the king in digging out the bed for him. And throughout the day, he was digging bed for the king, expecting an answer from the hermit. Now we shall see what happens next in the story of the 3 questions. 1 hour passed, then another. So he continued to digging the bed for the hermit. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, "I came to you, wise man, for answer to my question. If you can give no answer, tell me so, and I will return home." So 1 hour, 2 hours, the day passed, and the sun was just going behind the trees. That means very shortly the sun was going down. There would be a sunset. So he kept the spade and he went to the hermit and said, "Sir, I came to you seeking answers for the 3 questions. But you have not answered my questions. If you say you are not going to answer me the questions, tell me so, I will go back home." Suddenly, instead of answering the question, "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. Instead of answering the questions, he said, "See, look, someone is running towards us." The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. So what did the king do? The king turned round and saw a bearded man, a man with a beard, running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach. He was catching hold of his stomach like this, and he was running, from which blood was flowing. He was holding his stomach like this, and blood was flowing out from his stomach. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The bearded man came close to the king, and he fell down on the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. As soon as the bearded man fell on the ground, the king and the hermit took out his clothes and saw a big wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood wouldn't stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until the bleeding stopped. So what happened? The king and the hermit, both of them took out the cloths, and the king took out the handkerchief and started dressing the wound of the bearded man. But the blood wouldn't stop flowing. Again and again he started redressing the wound. Redressing means he changed the dress which he had dressed earlier, removed that, and again redressed it with a new bandage. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The man who fell on the ground did not speak anything. He was lying quietly. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. The king was also very tired. Why was he tired? All the way he had walked towards the hermit's hut, and looking at the hermit who was digging the bed, he took his spade and started to continue to dig the bed for him. And throughout the day he was working for the hermit, so even he was very much tired and he slept through the night. When he got up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. Now he woke up and he saw the bearded man next to him lying, and he was just worrying, who is this man? He couldn't even remember what happened the previous night. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice. Why his voice was weak? Weak? Forgive me. So this is called as weak voice. He couldn't speak loudly. Why couldn't he speak loudly? Because he was wounded. So he said, "Forgive me, my son, my person. Forgive me," said the bearded man with a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. So he asked forgiveness for the king, and he said, "I don't know you and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "Now why are you asking me forgiveness? I don't know who you are, and why are you asking me the forgiveness?" He said, "You do not know me, but I know you." The bearded man immediately said, "You do not know me, but I know you very well. And that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. I know you because I am the person who was very much against you, and I wanted to take revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property." He said to the king, "You killed my brother and you have seized my property, so I wanted to take revenge on you and I was searching for you. I had made up my mind to kill you on your way home. So I had made up my mind, I had decided that I would kill you on your way back home. But the day passed and you did not return. Till the day passed, I was there waiting for you, but you did not return home. So I left my hiding place." Where was he? He was hiding in his place, in the king's palace itself. "And I came upon your bodyguard." So by chance, he saw the bodyguard. The bodyguard recognized who this man was, who recognized me and wounded me. So once the bodyguard came to know that he has come to take revenge on the king, he attacked him and wounded him. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. He was so thankful. The bearded man was so thankful to the king that you have saved my life, otherwise I would have been killed. And you have saved my life. I wish to kill you. I wish to kill you, but you rescued me and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant. What did he say? If I live, I will serve you as your faithful servant. Now, the story continues like this. The king was very happy when he heard the bearded man saying that he would serve him as a faithful servant, to have made with his enemy. The king was very happy that finally my enemy has become a friend so easily, and to have won over him as a friend. He not only forgave him, but he promised to give back the man his property. The king was so pleased with the man, the bearded man, that he said he promised that he would return back his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked around for the hermit. So, leaving the wounded man, the king went out to find the hermit. The king went up to the hermit and said, for the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man. So he said, finally, please, will you be kind enough to answer my question? Then the hermit said, you have already been answered, I said the hermit. So, what did the hermit say? You have already been answered. The king was surprised. How have I been answered? What do you mean? Don't you see? Replied the hermit. If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. What did the hermit say? The hermit said, if you had not helped me in digging the ground, you would have gone back home. If you had gone back home, what would have happened? His enemy who was waiting for him to kill him, to take revenge on him, would have attacked you. So, then that man would have attacked you. So the most important time was when you were digging the bed. Now we shall see what was the three questions that the hermit answered him. What was that questions? The three questions. The three questions were the important time, the next was the important man, the third question was the important business. Now, these are the three questions which the king had come to the hermit. The important time was the time that he had helped the hermit to dig the bed. So the important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man. Who was the most important man? The hermit was the most important man. And what was the business? The business was digging the ground. And to me, and I was the important man, and to me, to do me good was your most important business. What was the most important business? Digging the bed for him. Later, when the man ran to us, was the most important time. In the next incident, you remember, the bearded man who ran to them was the most important time. What was the most important person? The bearded man was the most important person. What did they do? They started dressing his wound till the bleeding stopped. What was that important business? We shall see. The most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. What would have happened if he had not stayed there? If he had not come across the bearded man, he wouldn't have dressed him, he wouldn't have cared for him, and that was the most important business. And he wouldn't have been peace with him. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was the most important business. What did he do? He redressed the wound. Remember, then, there is only one time that's important, and that time is now. Now is the most important time. But now is the most important time. It's the most important time because it's the only time when we have any power to act. So quick action, and that moment what decision you take is important. The most necessary person is the person with whom you are at that particular moment is important. And the most important business is to do that person something good, because we are sent into this world for that purpose alone. We have come here to do only good, not bad. Now with this, I am going to conclude this topic with a beautiful quotation that time is the wisest counselor of